this is the hoof bag here, and when you buy a 64 ohm speaker like this one, comes out a little white box. I mean, we did actually promise no soldering projects, so that's what we should do. You'll find on these speakers, 64 ohm speaker, there's no make on it at all. You'll have a couple of these little lugs here. Now, if you're not keen on soldering, and who can blame you, because you can burn yourself, it's excruciating. You poke the wires through like this, through the little hole. Try not to, perhaps I'll do it while we're talking about it. Maybe turn it into a little curve like that, little hook. Go through the hole like so. Very carefully not to puncture the paper cone of the speaker. Pull that through. And good idea is to wrap that round very carefully. Don't pull on it to make that plastic join come off. Up. And then good idea would be to crush the connection really tightly like that. There's my knuckle cracking, shouldn't have happened. And do the same on the other side, like this. This is the fiddly bit, but we can't have soldering going on at the moment. And we should just hold that round like so. I mean, these are quite fragile. I mean, you can see I've actually distorted that lug already. And then we go like that. Just give it a squeeze. Next thing is perhaps a couple of twists. It's not ideal, but it's good enough for our purposes. This is primarily what we call educational, I suppose. How about we go around there a few times to make absolutely sure. Give it a good old and possibly go under there with the wires. That's okay. Obviously be careful not to puncture the cone. It's not a disaster if it happens, but better if you keep it from being punctured. Reduces the sound output. And you could actually use blue tack to hold the wires in place. That might be a good idea, possibly. Or if that's good enough, I don't know. There we go. Let's go like that. Let's tie a knot in it. Are we still in view? Great. Tie a knot in it. Too high? Too high. Okay. Anyway, when is the best time to sell a psychiatrist who doesn't believe in ME a plot of land? When the tide's out. Just thought I'd throw that one in there.
You want me to double after track on that, do you?
I don't think so.
It's the only laughs that's going to get.
Pliers. Like that. And that is nice and ready for connection. Okay, now it's a good idea. You see, one of the problems with a speaker is the sound coming out of the front of the device is in an opposite phase from the sound coming out the back. So actually, in fact, they do cancel out. So speaker cabinets like this one here, which I've had for a few years, cancel out the rear noises from the back of the speaker. So I'm trying to think of a way that we could do it quite easily. Now, if you buy these, if you ever buy, or your mum or whatever, I don't know, someone that's into cooking buys this, these, what are they? They're containers that have gravy powder in them. Okay, and this one is white sauce. Now what I thought we'd do is
other makes are available.
Other makes are available. It doesn't have to be Bisto. It could be, you know, any container like that. Now we need to make a hole in the bottom of the. Oh, hang on. There's another thing you could do. We could actually make a hole in the top. So I'll just grab a craft knife. If you're inclined to be a bit clumsy, maybe get someone else to do this because we're using a sharp knife. Where are we? Are we in the shop? Okay. Pop it through like that. And more, doesn't have to be perfectly accurate, but we've got nice circular hole. Try not to go that way across. Most of these things are, in most instances, have a tendency to go right across, perhaps. Well, that hole will suffice. We could tidy it up with a pair of scissors, like so, perhaps. There we go. Like that. I mean, if you can get a wooden box to mount your speaker in, even better. But we are dealing with electronics on a budget. Hoof bags, electronics on a budget that you can do at home without need of a soldering iron, and pay out a small amount for a packet of screws and washers and bits of wood, and there you are. It's all great fun. Now we get this stuff called, which in this particular instance it's blue tack, white tack, blue tack. What's the difference? This is white tack. Work it up. Pull out a piece, not that big. Work it up. Give it a squidge like that. Should work, hopefully it does. And we can fit that round, stretch it out, fit it round like that. Are we in shot? Yes, we are. Are we? Yes, okay. Just like human race, really. Insignificant corner of the universe that no other aliens care about. And we kill our own species off, so of course they're a bit scared of us. That's why they haven't come and visited.
Just build an interstellar bypass one day and it'll just all be over, won't it?
Yeah, so, get rid of the human race. It's no use. Human race is a waste of space.
Talk about yourself. Anyway.
Still having a bit of a problem with this, but we'll get there eventually. Good idea. Pack the thing with tissues and it's less likely to pop out. That will work. And you can use the tissues afterwards. So there we are, with speaker in a box. We did promise no soldering, so this for the time is out. Now if you can get closer. One idea of making connection to the board we've discovered is if you can come across these plugs, plastic plugs with long connections on them, fold these two down, these aren't necessary, then you put them under the washers like this. And that works quite well. That's a non-soldering means of connecting your guitar to the circuit. Okay. Are we still in shot?
Yes, anywhere on the desk is in shot, Liz.
Okay, right. Hoof bag. No, it's not Liz, it's hoof bag.
Alright, the artist formerly known as Stain or whatever.
Connect that round there. It goes under there like so. goes under there like so. Tighten down. Make a connection. Okay, next thing, we connect the battery. There we are, battery connected. And we then plug in the guitar into that. Anyway, we've got, because it's more transistors, there's three transistors. Right, back to FUZZBOX electronics, and this bit, I did promise that we would do an additional transistor to the 2 transistor design, making it a 3 transistor guitar amplifier with no soldering. So, built this circuit so many times I know it off by heart. So we've got a transistor like that, another one there like so, and another one there like that. Right, these are NPN transistors. BC 337. One thing I made a mistake when I was doing the previous 2 transistor version of this was trying to explain why we used to have positive earth, which was chosen, and these days most electronics is negative earth. Now obviously it makes sense if everything is the same way round. We've got negative ground, things can share the same DC supply, so that helps a lot. And the reason why we used to have a positive ground along the bottom, positive, was because PNP transistors were easier to manufacture. It was hard originally in the 1960s to manufacture NPN transistors. So in order that we can have the highest possible gain, we need a transistor to be in what they call common emitter mode. Anyway, the speaker goes there, and the speaker like that goes up there. That's the positive supply rail, that's the battery, like that. You normally have more cells than that, but we're going to call it 9-volt battery. That connects to there like that. That connects up to there like so, and this is the negative line that goes all the way along. This is the ground. Okay, so that goes directly there, directly there. Anyway, in order that we can keep the circuit stable so that the biases don't move around and cancel out, we need something else called voltage divider bias. So in this particular instance we've got, I think it's 4.7k, which goes there, 4.4k7. This here, we don't connect to the normal top like you'd normally do, we connect there, and that one is a 27k. 27k, that's the 64 ohm speaker. And that's your BC337. So this is how the original 2 transistor circuit that we worked on previously. And then we'll have a 15k. It's another BC337. That goes there like that, and then we have a 47k. That at that point previously in the previous design, this was just the two transistor design, but we need to add another transistor to get bit more volume and a nicer crunchy sound that people like that are into guitar. Anyway, Next thing is we've got to fit in another transistor which will go there on the schematic. Another BC337 goes to HT like that. Then we've got resistor to ground 33k in this particular instance, and this one here is the bias for the bass, which is 100k. That would be a 4k7, and this here will be the 0.001 capacitor, and this here will be where the guitar connects to. Right, well, logically you'd imagine that this 47k will get its supply from there. However, we have to do another modification to the circuit in order to prevent something called motorboating or RF instability and low frequency instability. So these two transistors are working in opposite phases to each other, so we don't have a problem with feedback or motorboating with just two transistors. With three transistors we will get it, because the output transistor, the last one, will be in the same phase as the input transistor. In order to prevent any upsets happening, we would have to insert a 1k resistor up there, and we would have to have a capacitor 100 microfarads is a good choice, negative to ground like that. Don't forget, we've also got to fit our capacitor, usually 1 microfarad, in there and there. That is a jump, and that connects to there. So that is the entire circuit, 1k. Anyone's a 64 ohm speaker, 9 volts. That's it for the moment. Oh yeah, thank you. That there as well. Any value works here, anywhere between 1 to say 20, so 47, 1 to 47. Anything works there. So that's anywhere between 1. We're using a 1 microfarad, but anywhere between 1 and 47 will work, or even 100 if you can squeeze it in there, but I wouldn't do that. And that's the circuit. Thank you.